Now at 5, authorities investigate the discovery of a body along I-44, and now they want your help. Plus, groundbreaking for a new teen center coming to the 4 states. And
both the Harris and Trump campaigns address political violence and rhetoric. I'm Skyler Henry with both of the candidates back in the battleground states and a push to get new voters registered.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities investigate the discovery of a man's body in a ditch along Interstate 44. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The body was found near the Pridmore Street exit at mile marker 14.8 late yesterday afternoon. Investigators have identified the man as 63-year-old Jesse Gilmore from Oklahoma. Now authorities are looking for a vehicle related to this case. It's a red 2020 Chevy Cobalt with the Oklahoma license plate PIH 667. Authorities say it has significant damage to the passenger side rear door. Anyone who's seen this car in the past day or so should contact the Jasper County Sheriff's Office. Authorities are not giving further details about the circumstances in this case, including how the car might be involved, but they say an autopsy is scheduled for Friday. The Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa County Teen Center hosted a groundbreaking in Miami. The project has been in the works for about 33 months. The center will provide resources for teens such as resume building and workforce development. The center will also have a gym and art rooms.
Ensuring that they have positive mentors in their life to encourage them throughout their lives to be successful and to have a plan for the future. So really that's what we do at Boys and Girls Club, is to ensure that every kid has a safe place to go and has somebody to believe in them.
They hope to have the work complete by May of 2025. Access to child care can be scarce in rural communities, but Erie, Kansas is hoping to address that problem by opening a new child care center. 44% of people in Kansas live in a child care desert, according to the Center for American Progress, and that includes Erie. Parents reported having to drive to Parsons or Chanute to find daycares, and the Erie Community Child Care Center was at capacity. But with the help of a grant from the Kansas Children's Cabinet, the Child Care Center has been able to build a new facility which allows them to take in more than 40 additional children.
We were full, and I had 28 on a waiting list with people calling. And I hated telling people no, but I had nowhere to put them. So when the grant came out, I thought, let's try it. Let's see if we can do this. And we got the grant, and here we are.
Tonight on KOAM News at 6, we're going to speak with Erie citizens about how the access to child care is helping the community. Crowder College in Neosho, Missouri celebrated Constitution Day with the League of Women Voters of the Greater Joplin area. Among other things, they spoke about the Constitution and the power of one vote. They later helped students register to vote. We're going to have more for you tonight on KOAM News at 6. Right now, though, let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for our first look at the weather.
Well, temperatures are a bit warmer today, slightly above average, so we're about 89 degrees high earlier today with our low in the mid 60s. That trend continues for the next couple of days. Overall today, though, mostly sunny. We've had quite a few clouds, mostly fair weather clouds in the area. Not getting any rain chances until the end of the week. Now, temperatures are going to continue to drop, though we're not cooling down as much as we want to, only down to the lower 70s by midnight tonight and dropping down to the mid to upper 60s for our overnight low. Now, we do have rain chances in the forecast, mostly starting on Thursday through the weekend, and I'll have those details coming up.
See you soon. The White House says Vice President Kamala Harris called former President Donald Trump today to express her gratitude that he was not harmed in Sunday's apparent assassination attempt. Both Trump and Harris are headed to battleground states today in search of votes. The trips come as early voting is about to get started and the threat of violence hanging over the election. Skyler Henry has details.
Former President Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail for the first time since Sunday's apparent assassination attempt. He and vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance are blaming Democrats' rhetoric for inspiring violence.
It's time to say to the Democrats, to the media, to everybody that has been attacking this man and trying to censor this man for going on 10 years, Cut it out or you're going to get somebody killed.
Speaking with members of the National Association of Black Journalists, Vice President Kamala Harris said she spoke with President Trump Tuesday morning.
I checked on him to see if he was okay.
Yeah.
And I told him what I have said publicly. There's no place for political violence in our country.
While her vice presidential pick, Governor Tim Walz, used National Voter Registration Day to make his point.
We don't solve our differences in this country with violence. We condemn it in all its forms. We solve our differences at the ballot box.
Former President Donald Trump is also focused on voter turnout while sending mixed messages about early voting. The former president posted on social media, "Early voting in Pennsylvania, go vote." But Pennsylvania's residents can only vote early via mail-in ballots, and Trump had this to say about mail-in voting just hours earlier.
Anytime you have mail-in voting, you're going to have fraud.
Challenges to recent election results have shown no evidence of widespread fraud, but threats against election workers continue to rise. The FBI confirmed to CBS News the agency is investigating a series of letters containing an unknown white powdery substance sent to election officials in several states. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Trump also posted on social media that if he wins, he plans to go after the people that cheated in the 2020 election and that they will be, quote, sought out, caught, and prosecuted at levels unfortunately never seen before in our country, end quote. Music mogul Sean Combs, better known as Diddy, is in federal custody in New York, charged with sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs has been under federal investigation led by Homeland Security for months. The arrest follows nearly a dozen lawsuits, most of which accused Combs of sexual assault. One was settled. Lawyers for Combs have said while their client is an imperfect person, he is not a criminal. Instagram introduces new safety measures for teens. That's coming up. Plus, a potential link between air pollution and Alzheimer's disease. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch news stories that are negatively associated with the LGBTQ plus population leads to a rise in suicidal ideas among young adults in that group. A study published in JAMA Pediatrics found 18 to 24-year-olds who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender had short-term changes in suicidal thoughts when they were exposed to negative news or media related to that community. After years of public pressure, Instagram has new safety measures for teens. Meta, which owns Instagram, has provided demo video as it announced new restrictions on teen accounts. Jolene Kent sits down with Meta's global head of safety.
Meta says it's trying to make Instagram safer for teens by automatically putting tens of millions of users under 18 into new Instagram teen accounts over the next 60 days. The move will in part make teen users' accounts private by default, only allow them to receive messages from people they follow or are connected to, limit exposure to sensitive content like videos of people fighting, and mute notifications between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. Antigone Davis is the global head of safety at Meta. She says if users under 16 want to change these restrictive settings, they'll need parental approval.
I mean, can't teens just get around these settings?
If we see a teen try to set up a new account as an adult account, we're going to ask them to verify their age. If they have an ID, they certainly can provide an ID. We also use something called Yoti, which basically looks at facial features and says, this person is under 18, this person is over 18.
Meta says it's also adding new optional parental supervision features that let parents see who their teen has messaged, view the topics they're looking at, and set daily time limits.
What do you say to the lawmakers and to the parents who say, this is just Meta trying to figure out another tool that's just not going to work?
What I would say to parents is that we've listened to parents and tried to take in their concerns and put in place automatic protections. We do believe this is the right thing to do.
How much of this is driven by the fact that you want to cultivate a safer space for teenagers in order to keep them on the platform, to keep your shareholders happy as a public company?
With this change, we are likely to see teens maybe use the platform a little bit less, change the way they use the platform. But in our estimation, it is in our interest, including our business interest, to be aligned with parents, for teens to have a safe and positive experience on our platform.
Now, to be clear, 16 and 17-year-olds will be able to change the newly automated restrictive settings without parental permission. And Meta says they made their decision to do all of this after talking to parents who had teens of all ages. Jolene Kent, CBS News, New York.
Children with mothers who face food insecurity during pregnancy and those who experience it early in childhood have a higher chance of obesity later in childhood. According to researchers at the Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare Institute, those children are more than 50% more likely to develop obesity or severe obesity by the time they're 15 years old. The study followed mothers and children who live in neighborhoods where at least a third of residents lived far from a grocery store. Air pollution significantly increases the risk of Parkinson's disease. That's according to a study published in JAMA Network Open. Researchers found that the greater the exposure to nitrogen dioxide and particulate matter like soot and smoke, the more likely a person is to develop the degenerative disease. And that is a look at today's health news. A little later, I'll look at some of the unique challenges facing first-time homebuyers.
And we also have a warm-up in the forecast. We'll talk. It was mostly cloudy, but we warmed up a lot today. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. You can see Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. A lot of clouds out there. Overcast usually keeps us cooler during the day, but we're on a warming trend at least through the weekend until Friday and Saturday, and then we start to cool down after that. Now we've got storms to the west of us. They're not going to make it into our area. We may get a few of those clouds start to shift in overnight tonight, giving us a warm night as well, because overcast at nighttime just traps radiation. So we're going to stay a little bit warmer tonight. Now throughout the morning hours and throughout the day tomorrow, mostly cloudy, partly cloudy, and then higher temperatures in the low 90s. We're going to start to see a few isolated showers pushing in Thursday morning, late night Wednesday, so about 1 a.m. into our far western counties near Yates Center. Mostly isolated showers throughout most of the early morning hours on Thursday, clearing out by 11 a.m. or so. But north of Kansas and Oklahoma border, north of Joplin, so Pittsburgh, Parsons, Yates Center, Chanute, Nevada, Fort Scott, all going to get a few isolated showers in the morning hours on Thursday. Not a lot of accumulation, and if you're not getting any of these showers, you can see all of the counties out in Oklahoma, Arkansas, even south of Joplin, mostly clear skies. So these showers do continue, but again, very isolated, and if you're not getting the showers, you're going to be mostly sunny. Now, in addition to the warmer temperatures over the next couple of days, we've got higher dew points. This is 64 degrees out in Webb City, 66 Commerce, so we're on that 60 to 65, maybe even 70 degree range. We're at that sticky to muggy, so we're getting warmer and we're having higher humidity. Tomorrow, our high in the low to mid 90s across the region. Joplin area about 91, but the far west you go out near Chanute, Yates Center, mid to upper 90s through Thursday and Friday. Above average, well above average for this time of year. Now we do have rain chances that are going to cool us off later in the weekend. Starting Friday, mostly just those isolated showers hit and miss around the area. Not going to be a lot of accumulation through Friday evening. And then we're going to start to see heavier showers pushing in as early as Saturday morning. Now it's a little messy, so they're going to be scattered showers across the area. We're not seeing a line of storms moving in, but mostly we're getting heavier rain later in the evening, Saturday night into Sunday. Again, going to stay north of us, but Nevada, Fort Scott area, and even near Stockton, going to get heavier showers before they continue to push up. And then north of our area, near Kansas City, in the overnight hours and into early Sunday morning, the bulk of those thunderstorms are going to be north of us. But we are still going to get those showers and even the wind shift line that we're expecting to move in on Sunday. Sunday afternoon, a few more isolated showers start to pop up, and then the heavier rain along with that wind shift line. So you can see winds out of the south ahead of the line of showers, and then out of the west and the northwest. It's going to shift as we go into the overnight hours on Sunday. These showers are going to continue, and then we're going to get cooler temperatures after that. So we see a drop, 94 on Thursday, 96 on Friday, dropping down to 84 on Sunday, and then down to the 70s for the remainder of next week.
That's hot for a little while, but
I'm
let's
not
hope we get
looking
the rain.
forward to it.
Thanks, Lindsay. New robots are coming to Chipotle. That story is just ahead. Topping today's Consumer Watch, high prices and lending rates are making it difficult to buy a home these days, especially for first-time home buyers. Nancy Chen takes a look at the challenges they face.
Do you spend a lot of time looking for a house?
Yes, almost like 3 years now.
Shruti Chauhan says she submitted around 30 bids, usually over the asking price, while searching for her first home in New Jersey. She originally wanted to find a larger house to host family, but after being outbid almost every time, Chauhan has tripled her budget while making concessions on size, location, and neighborhood.
Would you have ever imagined 3 years ago that you'd be here at this point?
Nope, never. I always thought that, yes, there will be a time where I'll get home. Never happened.
We continue to see a real struggle between supply and demand.
Stacey Esser, founder of SEG Realty, says first-time home buyers are getting locked out because of high interest rates keeping people from selling and a spike in all-cash offers. While mortgage rates are coming down from recent highs, Esser says it's not so simple.
Is this going to be a game changer?
Unfortunately, historically, when rates drop, inventory levels drop too. It's going to add another level of hardship onto the first-time home buyer, because what'll happen is more people will jump back in, and more competition means prices are going to rise.
Chauhan will keep renting as her search continues.
Are you still hopeful?
Yes, this is the year.
There are loan and grant programs out there specifically to help first-time home buyers. Local and national assistance programs could help with closing costs and down payments up to 5% of your home's price. Just ask your lender for what's available in your area. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
Amazon is calling all of its workers back to the office 5 days a week starting in January. The company went remote during the pandemic, then moved to a hybrid schedule with 3 days a week in the office last year. Amazon CEO Andrew Jassy says the move is to foster more in-person collaboration. The company also says exceptions could be made for workers with extenuating circumstances. Chipotle is testing out new robots in 2 of its California locations. The company worked with 2 robotics firms to create the Autocado, which can cut, core, and peel an avocado in about 26 seconds, and the augmented make line, which is expected to help standardize portion sizes while making burritos, bowls, and salads. Chipotle says it's going to seek feedback from workers and customers before possibly expanding technology to other locations. A final check of the forecast next. This evening news, we're going to head to the battleground state of North Carolina to see how divided voters are navigating the rocky waters of politics, all on the same boat. Then on KOAM News at 6, a look at what a new teen center could mean for Miami, Oklahoma. Plus, more on how the League of Women Voters celebrated Constitution Day in Southwest Missouri, and a preview of tonight's high school softball action in Missouri. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Hong Kong authorities staged a nighttime show over Victoria Harbor featuring hundreds of drones in various colors to mark the Mid-Autumn Festival. Drone shows are the new fireworks in a lot of places. It's a big holiday on the lunar calendar throughout East Asia. In China, images of rabbits and mooncakes, a traditional dessert, are closely associated with the festival. Hong Kong's drone show today lasted just about 10 minutes, but boy, the figures that they can make are phenomenal.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
Yes, it's amazing to watch for sure. The weather, it's going to be hot.
Unfortunately, we're heating up. We've got heat index values through Friday all the way reaching about 100 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer than that. It's going to be really hot through the end of the week, but we do have rain chances and a weak cold front Saturday night into Sunday, dropping the temperatures back down to about average and slightly below average next week.
Yeah, see some highs next week, about 70 or low 70s, and lows in the 50s. That'll be welcome. And in the meantime, We need some rain. We need it desperately.
Oh my gosh, you've got no idea. My backyard is so dry and dusty. My dogs are all dusty all the time.
Yeah, mine too. It crunches when I walk on it. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.